Hello everyone, this is Charlotte and this is a podcast where I talk about random topics called Chatting in Cars. I often discuss things which are not exactly kosher and at length on tangents whilst driving and swearing, so if you don't want to hear any of that, absolutely you can turn off. Not that you need my permission really. I'm assuming, given the rating of this podcast, that you're a grown-ass adult. I talk about sensitive topics. These are all from my perspective, these are things I've lived through, so honestly, it's a bit biased really as an account, so I wouldn't take it for gospel, but if you want one perspective on this issue, absolutely go for it. But to be honest, if you're going to be looking at this critically, you should be looking at other sources as well. So having said that, the topic for today is Instagram generation. The Instagram generation. Now, as a millennial, I am seemingly part of that Instagram generation, along with Facebook, and thank God I don't think it's TikTok, but you know, can't be too careful. The Instagram generation, where you completely fabricate your reality and show people your best side while dulling down your dumb bits. Essentially, that's it, isn't it? Rich people promote their own brands through photos of their self doing rich people things, making us all feel like shit, like their life is unattainable and we should be jealous. I think it's it. I think that's basically it. I think it's a vanity project. I think I'm not happy with it. I mean, to be honest, I do have an Instagram thing, but most of the time I'm sitting there looking at memes and cats or dogs. It's not exactly like I'm taking selfies and showing the world how fucking amazing and important I am. I think I take some holiday pictures of places I've been, and I might have slipped in there when I'm standing next to someone, and it's usually someone else's idea, but I rarely take a selfie. I hate doing it. So you can't say I'm an advocate of selfies and wanting to promote my face and image out there at all. So I'm a bit biased in that regard. I've got kids in my class, my year 7, 6s, who are 12 years old, who've got their own Instagram accounts. And I can't tell you how risky that is for me as a teacher and as an adult to be, you know, talking about what kinds of shit they put on there. I'm sitting there going, are you safe doing this? Do you even know what you're doing? Not that I actually go looking for their shit, but you know, they just don't understand the concept of who could be looking at their stuff. And they just think it's a bit of fun and a popularity contest and stuff like that. It's crazy. We have to constantly teach them about cyber safety and stranger danger because they keep putting weird shit on their Instagram account. And then people who are weirdos sort of start chatting to them about stuff that's sometimes quite adult. And you sit there and think, why the fuck does this thing exist? As far as I'm concerned, it's when it comes to younger generations, it's something just like jailbait. My mum used to say girls running around underage in scanty clothing was jailbait. This is just like, it's just an extension of it really, which is terrible. I'm not a fan of it. I think honestly it should be used as a transfer of information, which is not, you know, sexualized content. If you wanted to go sexualized content, go for an OnlyFans. That seems to be the trend for today, people taking pictures of their feet. I'm annoyed that they're making that much money. I'm thinking of my HEX debt right now, my student loans. I'm going, you bastards. And I wanted to do everything by the book when I could have just been taking pictures of my arse. It's like, this is ridiculous. No, it's a bit of a fuck up. I'm sitting there thinking, well, I wanted to get ahead in life with my brain power and skills and ability because I believe this was a meritocracy. It turns out you can just show your ass and tits and get away with it. And people will pay you for it. And it's like, why are we even bothering? Why are we literally even bothering? I don't know. But then again, look at the Kardashians. They made an entire fucking empire showing their ass and tits. Terrifying. Any intelligence? I don't know. I don't think so. I don't think they qualify for anything at all. If everything was suddenly to go south for them, you know, I don't know. Anyway, over that bit, I could go all day about them. I did a whole podcast yesterday on cult celebrity cult shit, and I was bummed because by the time I got home, there was only about 3 seconds had been recorded of it. I'm sitting going, it's a 45-minute podcast. Fuckers. Because the headphones wasn't plugged in properly, and I'm like, wasted trip, and it threw me off for the whole day. But anyway, Instagram, what is the purpose of it? I like that people are using it to promote brands that are of things they are selling. Because to me, then it's just another form of marketing, isn't it? And not that ads and marketing are that great or fun when they pop up in the middle of your YouTube feed and you just want to fucking watch the show you selected, right? It's actually quite intrusive and annoying, to the point where you actively say, I'm not going to buy this product because it's that annoying. But it's another means, and it's cost effective, I suppose, because it's free to join Instagram and you can tout your brand. I think there's some kind of a fee for if you're using it in an AdSense kind of way. I've got some of my paintings on Instagram, but I really need to work on it because I don't think it's doing anything. People look at it and go, oh, that's nice, and keep going. It's like, yay! What the fuck? No one's buying my shit. So I don't know how to work on that. I've never been good at marketing. It does set us up for some unrealistic expectations of what people should live like. That is the main problem that everyone seems to have with Instagram. It purports to have individuals who are living a particular way because they can provide evidence of it through being photographed in locations, doing activities, wearing expensive stuff, or living a particular way. And usually it's bullshit. I think we can safely admit it's bullshit. You can fake all of that shit very easily. Not a problem. Photoshop is probably the most easiest one. You got to watch that you don't, cock up your Photoshop though. No weird lines in your shot. I mean, my sister would be really good with that because she's got that photography degree. I never got the hang of that kind of shit, but yeah. I took her out the other day. She's gone back to England now, by the way. I don't know if you listened to the other podcast. She was over for a trip for a bit, and then she went back. She went back on the 20th. But I cannot say how many pictures of sunsets she took. It was non-stop. It was a combination of sunsets and food. That is her whole Instagram post. It's a bit annoying when you just want to eat something, because she's the one with the camera, or the phone, I should say, and I'm the one with the fork in my hand going, can we fucking eat, please? But I don't like waiting for food. I really don't. I have no patience for it. I don't like it. It's not like a huge priority. Well, the priority for me is to get the food in me because I'm starving. Some people will sit there and go, their priority for making food is to make it beautiful, or to slow cook it and simmer it and make it all this amazing thing. And I'm just going, dude, I live with my microwave. Just give me the fucking food. I don't care if it's got fucking apple blossoms and gold dust on it. Just isn't even going to fill me up at this point. I'm very much a functionalist when it comes to that shit. If I want something nice and it's my cheat day, then I'll probably go out and just buy something that's packety from a Woolworths. It's like a nice tub of ice cream or something like that. I'm not particularly one to go out for a gourmet crap paid 500 times the price. Be very unsatisfied, but it looked pretty for about 3 seconds before I devoured it. I'm not that kind of person. It's like, oh, isn't that nice? It's impractical and tiny and there's not enough of it. And I paid a lot of money for this, so I'm very upset by this whole experience. Besides the fact that you put me in a restaurant around people. I don't do Instagram meals. I do sitting on my couch being fat and gross, and I like it. Just comes across as pretentious, doesn't it? It's like, look at this amazing picture I've taken. And my sister would sit there, because we went to a high tea, and it was a rotating high tea, which is a nice experience. It's like you get this really tall building, and the room slowly turns at a slightly nauseating speed. And you can't tell it's turning, but you still feel sick while it's doing it. And you're trying to scoff down in this already heated, clammy kind of feeling, these really sweet cakes, or this food, the savoury stuff, which actually tasted quite nice. I liked all the taste of it. I didn't have a problem with any of the taste. Sometimes I'll go, ew, capsicum and just bleh. But it was very pretentious. We got dressed up, because, the best high tea I ever had was at the Ritz. I mean, what do you expect, right? You're paying that amount. It's fucking crazy. You're going to take a picture, aren't you? It's probably the only one time I will do it. But when the food came, it wasn't that great, to be honest. There wasn't a lot of it for the amount we paid. It was very pretty. And Alicia got her pictures. But, it's like, okay. And they almost seemed upset that we were going, because I said after about an hour or so, because there's only so much time you can sit there and be bored of, I've eaten the food, I'm ready to go. And they're like, oh, you're going? He's like, yeah, I've been here an hour. I'm going, I've got stuff to do. But then they got a little bit sour about that. But at least she was taking pictures. So I'm like, great, we came, we ate, we left. Awesome. But she does stuff like that. She's very much into the Insta pictures. It's infuriating. But I tolerate it because she has a photography degree. I'm going, this has got to be part of it. People don't just do this on a whim, right? It's because of some intrinsic motivator. But anyway, you know, that's the downside, having to wait for your food and shit. But it's just an equivalent of anyone going on holiday. Like when I go on tour, I'm always taking pictures because I send them back home. I send them to my mom, who's been to the places where I've been, or like my sister who wants to go to the places where I've been. Or, you know, I don't think anyone else in my family is particularly interested. But you want to show them these nice places and give them ideas and go, yeah, this is nice, and you might want to try this sometime in the future, or do you remember this, and this is what it was like. But I don't go to these huge extravagant places to say, this is me, fuck you, I'm better than you. And a lot of Instagram generation is sitting there going, trying to outdo each other. It's like, I've got this huge pool, I've got this Lambo, I've got this fucking fur coat and shit. And I'm sitting there going, well, I know who I'm going to rob next week. It's like, you're fucking stupid, keep going. And that's exactly what happened to Kim Kardashian, I think. Didn't she get robbed for like putting all this shit on Facebook and Instagram, saying then she got like held hostage and shit? I'm sitting there going, well, this is a tragedy. If it was to someone who's not an arrogant, you know, celebritante. You promote yourself that much, you do make yourself an easy target. And to be honest, fuck you. Having lived in the poverty cycles and things like that, you shove this in poor people's faces. You deserve it. They think they're above everything. There's an arrogance to these Instagram fucking models and shit. They just think they're above everyone. It annoys the shit out of me. There's no humility in it. And then they get robbed and they wonder why they get robbed. It's like, because you just told everyone you've got all this shit in your house and you're barely there. You're asking for it. It's like, use your brain. Do you have one? No. You didn't need to make one because Daddy gave you the money, didn't he? Yeah, anyway. They never had to think for themselves in their life. Survival instincts that just don't occur with rich people. Not really. Not unless you like broke as fuck when you started and made your way. Like everyone fucking should, I think. I don't believe in that hereditary wealth shit. At most, as part of a so-called normal population, at most, we will inherit maybe what our parents left us, or a chunk of what our parents left us, if we know our parents. Or if we're entitled to it in any way, sort of thing. I know that when my parents are going to die, I might be inheriting some house. I might be inheriting a debt, given their lack of financial competence. I don't know. I don't know. But I've got to split it 4 ways. But it's not exactly Instagram worthy, is it? It's not like I'm going to be shoving it in people's faces saying, this is how amazing I am. Look at this piece of shit I've just inherited. I do it as a joke. Knowing the quality of what I'm inheriting, I go, woohoo! Look what I inherited. I'm so awesome. I do it as a piss take, but I don't think I do it to try and promote myself as better than anyone. If you see how run down my parents' house is, I'm sitting there going, oh fuck me, that's a job, isn't it? That's the next thing I've got to do up. Because I already had to renovate my dead granddad's house when he died. That was a shit fight, oh my god. Oh, fucking hell. I did it by hand as well. I'm sitting going, why can't I not contract people? Oh yeah, that's right, because I'm broke as fucking in debt. I would have loved to have paid someone to do that for me, because I really didn't have the brain capability at the time, given the events that was happening, but you know. But you don't use it to brag and drag people down. I mean, my mum was always one about, I don't know if it's because we grew up in poverty or something like that, you just don't talk about money. You just don't. You don't talk about wealth. You don't talk about money. I mean, it was always in our heads because we never had it, and we knew that, you know, as children we were part of the burden situation, whether we wanted to or not. My parents weren't shy about telling us how much of a problem we were because we were running up bills and shit. It was a very real thing for us. So yeah, I'm a bit money-minded that way. It could be because I grew up with none. But I don't sit there and shove it in people's faces if I've got something nice, you know? If I've managed to save or something. You could say it's some kind of a proud of your own actions kind of thing. But at the same time, look at the way you're doing it. If you've made your, I don't know, if you bought your Lamborghini or whatever it is, not that you should because it's a fucking waste of money, but if you bought your Lamborghini because you've inherited some shit from daddy who gave you a trust fund to start with, you're not really earning it either. It's not like you've worked your ass off to create this wealth so you can buy this. You've been born, you got free money, and now you're rubbing it in everyone's face. It's a dick move, dude. It's like just the biggest asshole thing to do. Particularly when everyone's struggling and everything right now. Particularly now, actually. Everyone's having a hard time. When COVID hit, it was hard enough, and then this fucking Ukraine shit. Now everyone's getting fucked over. And then you got these assholes on Instagram showing pictures of fucking yachts and things. I'm going, it's not needed. Liquidize your assets and start spreading some of that wealth, because people are suffering, and you're just looking like the biggest asshole for doing this. It's not noble, shall we say? There's no honor to it. It's just being plain nasty at times. And these are the images that's being promoted. And as I said yesterday in podcast, which I didn't get to fucking record yesterday, it's just a residual from the 80s greed, I think, where it's the me first attitude, where I'm coming first, I'm getting what I want, and fuck everyone else. That reeks of unhealed wounds. It's just, that selfishness comes from lots of people fucked me over, I'm gonna do me. And it doesn't sit with me, because we still have to coexist within a society where everybody needs each other. We all need doctors, we all need... I mean, can you imagine what would happen if someone turned around in a hospital, or all the doctors in a hospital turned around and said, well, fuck you guys, I'm doing me, I'm not saving anyone? You'd be fucked. I don't care how much money you got. I'm not doing the job, fuck you. So, which is essentially what's going on with the strikes right now in England. People getting a bit pissy about not having the best working conditions and stuff like that. And I don't blame them, to be honest. It's not so much, I think the working conditions, they're put under a lot of stress by, COVID and stuff like that, but it's also a case of a fucked up government who's not really doing their job, who are getting paid exceedingly high amounts during a financial crisis. So you're kind of asking for a shitstorm of trouble there, aren't you? It's like, why are these assholes getting paid so much if we can't even put food on the table? I mean, and it's not just a case of, it seems to be doctors, nurses, teachers, postal system, I've been watching, transport people. It's all the high rollers sort of things, all the ones we definitely need. It's not a case of, the cleaners are giving up. We need cleaners, yeah, but I'm talking like private cleaners who clean the rich people's houses. They're not going on strike. I remember when we were in primary school, and the school cleaners, they went on strike. We had filthy toilets, and there was toilet paper everywhere, and the bins weren't emptied, and the rubbish was piling up and shit like that. That was back in 1990 something. I remember that strike, and I'm pretty sure that was just a localized one. And having worked as a cleaner, yeah, absolutely, you fucking deserve to have that strike, and I hope it worked for you. But it's not exactly helpful, is it? I don't know. I'm questionable as to unions work, mainly because I'm casual, technically at this time. I work full time, but I'm classed as casual because I don't have a contract. I'm a free agent, a mercenary essentially. I turn up, I do the work, I leave. I'm not stuck in one school. So I did at the start sign up for the union, but when I started looking for full-time work because it wasn't secure enough, I felt, as a relief teacher, I went to the union and asked them for help, and they didn't help me. They didn't help me get a job. They didn't say, this woman's been working for 10 years, she can't get a full-time position. They ignored all my emails, they ignored my calls, and I was still paying out money to be associated with these people. So I went, fuck it, in the end, and I stopped paying them, and I stopped joining their unions, and I thought, well, I'm a mercenary, aren't I? So I suppose I better hold my own. So when the teachers here go on strike, I don't go on strike, because I know I won't get paid. I don't have a wage. They still get, as contract workers, they still get paid whether they turn up or not. I don't. So if I don't turn up, I don't eat. So if anyone's, willing to crack the shits about me turning up to work, fuck them at this point. That's maybe the kind of mentality that's causing the Instagram people to say me first. There's no protection from the infrastructure around them. But I doubt that when it comes to celebrities who are just, perpetuating the greed they learnt from their forebearers, The rich people who come from trust funds themselves. who just don't give a fuck about anyone who's poorer than them. In fact, it's now become a competition to see who's got the more money and the more status and the better off person, supposedly. I don't think anymore that morality comes with social class, if there is a class system in the culture or the country. I've seen rich people do some fucking horrible things. I've seen poor people do some fucking horrible things. I don't think, it used to be that poor people were, they're unclean. I mean, it's still in places like India, you still think, it's a weird caste system there. If you ever Google it, go and look at the weird caste system. And I say that from a very biased westernized viewpoint, where it's incredibly racist, because their caste system's based on their ethnicity. Well, I say ethnicity, but it's like the color of their skin. It's not even, like, they're all of an Asian descent, yeah? But the darkness of their skin determines, from what I can gather, and I could be wrong, what their social standing in the society of that caste system is. Like, the darker your skin, the lower down you are, and the whiter your skin, the higher up you are. That's got to be racist, right? It's not just me thinking that doesn't feel right. But it also affects things like who they can marry. They can't marry a different skin tone. I don't know why that is still occurring, but that's, again, I'm coming from a very undereducated about that caste system viewpoint. But it's an anomaly that I'm interested in at this point. I'm going, why does this exist and people seem to be fine with it? Whereas if there was also happening in a westernized country, there would be an uproar, apartheid and things like that. No one seems to think it's different. It's very odd. I don't know. Maybe it's just a weird anomaly I've picked up. I don't know. But it's weird. Where was I going with this? I don't know. Just anomalies. Things to Google later, I guess. But Instagram shouldn't be about that. It should be like Google, where you're just sharing information, as far as I can see. It shouldn't be rubbing your reality in someone else's face. That's what I was saying. My mum would say, we don't talk about money. Around other people, we don't bring up money. We don't talk about money. We don't show off what we got. I don't know if that was a safety thing so much, because as soon as you show off stuff you got, someone's going to break in and nick it, which I have had done to me. And not that I showed it off, but I've been broken into a few times. I've had my car broken into, I've had shit nicked off me. Thank you, living in an area with low SES. But, as soon as you stick your head above the trenches, it's, you're asking for trouble. But at the same time, what she might have been saying is, when we don't talk about money, is you just be careful of who hasn't got it. You can't rub it in people's face and make them feel horrible for not having it, or not having access to it, or not having a chance to have access to it, These people just take their wealth for granted, and they shove it in people's faces. And aren't you jealous about me flying off to fucking Mallorca for the weekend? And meanwhile, you're sitting there at home in a blanket midwinter in England, freezing your tits off and eating beans out of a can because somebody broke the last fucking dish. It's like, all of which I have had experience of. I've had a very real experience of life. I didn't do the jet setting thing. But you don't rub it in people's faces, because it's disheartening, it's horrible, and there's a high chance maybe these people are sitting there eating the beans from the can that just cannot get out of those circumstances because the poverty cycle is just so fucking strong. Not that you shouldn't try and get out of it. You absolutely should be kicking and screaming your way out of that fucking thing. Because the second you give up, it's just like Never Ending Story in the horse thing. As soon as you start giving up, what was it, Artax, that fucking horse in the mud, Go Google it. It's an awesome movie. I still watch it now and I'm nearly 40. But as soon as you start giving up, you get sucked the fuck into it. And it happens quicker. And soon you stop turning up for work. You get really depressed. Your life goes into a shithole. And you spiral, absolutely spirals. Maybe you start taking drugs, maybe you get homeless, maybe you do all this shit. Absolutely, you should be kicking and screaming to get the fuck out of that fucking cycle. Absolutely. Don't let that shit get you. It's a bastard. And you can get spiraling. At worst, you should be plateauing. At worst. But you should always be kicking and screaming to get up and out of it. And I'm not talking about social climbing for the, approval of others. I'm saying for your own quality of life, you should be getting the fuck out of there. It's horrible. And anyone who tries to ennoble poverty, like in a Dickensian sense, as, the honourable poor person, they've got no money, but they're good people. It's like, fuck off. Stop shitting on them. Stop glorifying poverty. It's not fun. It's a horrible experience, and people shouldn't be put in it. They should be fighting to get out of it. And this is why you find a lot of broke people are very fucking angry. Because people will patronize you about being poor. It's like, oh, they've got no money, but they're good people. They're lovely people. So why don't you help them? Oh no, I need my money. You are rich. Why are you not helping them? Oh, but I need it because of my status. And I need to go to fucking trips to Mallorca. And I need to rub it in people's faces on Instagram. You know, it's like, you asshole. This is why I don't like rich people. You know, yeah. And what's worse is when they use Instagram to actually push some kind of virtue signaling, I should say, where they'll do these seemingly good acts, right? They'll promote, you know, homelessness, they'll drug recovery, they'll feed poor people, they'll do this, I don't know, writing on bananas and shit and handing them out for free. Who could that be, I wonder? But they'll take a picture. I'm thinking, well, why did you need to take a picture? To show you how good I am and to show you the awareness on the topic. No, that's not how it works. As soon as you take a picture, it's about you, isn't it? Look how wonderful I am. Look what I'm doing. This is not about them at all. This is about you. Your fucking ego. That's the sickening side of Instagram to me. It's virtue signaling. It's like, look how wonderful I am. I'm doing all these great deeds. These aren't great deeds. These are self-serving ego boosters. You're just a horrible person. You're feeding off people's horrible life experiences, which they can't seem to get out of. And if you really love these people and you wanted to help them, you'd lecurize some of your fucking assets and get them a house or some shit, right? Don't sit there and give them bananas for free that you've scribbled positive messages on. That'll fix the homelessness. You know, it's like, you're an asshole. Wonderful. God, what will I do with my whole banana? Oh, that'll fix it. I'm not going to get mugged or raped tonight on the streets. It's like, I've got a banana gun. Oh, do you remember Banana Man? Oh my God, that guy was awesome. Banana Man and Super Ted. Oh my God, I'm going on a tangent. Anyway, old cartoons from the 90s. But the fakeness of it that gives me the shits. What's worse is when they get a humanitarian aid award. A humanitarian award for awareness. Not that it's actually fixed any of the topics that I've mentioned. Not that it's really helped any of them. They've managed to get a few good pictures of, you know, handshaking and handing out free takeaway bowls of food. But the people are still homeless. They're still starving. They're still freezing. At this point in England, they'll be freezing because it's winter. There's no fixing. You haven't fixed it. You've just made yourself look good for 15 minutes and added it to your fucking profile. That's what gives me the shits. It's like, stop the pretension and actually fucking fix the problem. I don't give a shit how good your outfit is or what your makeup looks like, what your hair looks like while you're faking being nice to poor people. I want to see real result, you know? That's what gives me the shits. So aren't I a good person? Well, actually, no, you're the devil because you're lying about what you're trying to do. And fuck you for doing it. As a person who was on the receiving end of that at one point, fuck you. And it makes me sound ungrateful, I guess. Because we should be thankful that they're even trying, but they're not doing it for us. They're doing it for them. And people jump on these bandwagons of celebrity and say, oh, wonderful these celebrities are. And then they go back in their Jags, back to their Montecito mansions, and pretend like the day didn't fucking happen, feeling good about themselves. And, you know, it's like, did you fix anything? No. But we made it look like we tried. Oh my God. Fuck, you know. The real heroes of this world are the unsung ones. The ones that sit in the background that don't have Instagram accounts, that just do what needs to get done. Because it's the right fucking thing to do. Not because they can take a picture, not because they can shake hands with celebrities. These people get the job done, they go in, they fix it, and they get the fuck out. And that's what it should be. It's functionalist. You see a problem, you fix it. You don't stop to take a fucking picture. You don't get your hair and makeup done. Oh my God, these fucking fake ass people. Anyway, I could rant all day. No, Instagram is... it's a tool, isn't it? It should be just a tool. It should be a tool for getting information out there, getting awareness out there if you can't physically be there yourself. You could be promoting your own brands and things like that, but better make sure that your brands are something that's worth being out there. Don't just put shit out there because you're a narcissist and need to be center of attention all the fucking time. It's crazy. It's ugh. Definitely keep up with the cute cat videos. I'm definitely digging those. Funny memes, fail videos, yeah, keep those up. I like them. At the moment, I've seen so many memes ripping into Harry's spare book. I'm laughing my ass off about those. I really am. I shouldn't though, because it's mean, but you know, we all have a go. We're all going to hell. We're all in trouble now. We all laughed. Ooh, that's a nice bike. Oh, wait, what's that, Harley? Yeah, sorry, I'm a motorbike fiend a bit. I do like pretty ones. Can't ride them because I'm terrified. I did start getting my license, but my PTS kicked in and I had a panic attack and I thought this probably isn't for me. But I will definitely collect them. Definitely, I love them. They're so pretty. But yeah, no, Instagram accounts definitely not for teenagers or kids. Maybe for business. Not for rich assholes who don't want to actually do anything of consequence besides stoking their own ego and promoting their own agenda. Then again, that's all PR is. It's just another form of propaganda, really, isn't it? If you're a fascist dictator, it's propaganda. If you're a celebrity in America, it's PR. That's the fucking crux of it, really. It might as well be fucking propaganda. Most of it's made up bullshit anyway. I'm sorry, it sounds very much down note, isn't it? I'm just taking it on a downturn. I'm just so pissed off with how some people can take something which could be so useful and so wonderful and help so many people and then manipulate it into self-serving narcissism. You know, I'm just angry. Just, you could be helping people, you assholes. Why does it have to be about your giant ass? I don't understand. How is this feeding people who are starving? How is this housing people? How is this, you know, are you taking the proceeds from the pictures of your ass and giving it to poor people? I don't know. It's like, do you need yet another mansion in Montecito? I need a bigger one. Oh my God, get them now. I don't know. Jesus, come get your people. These people are wayward. Come on. But it's crazy. I don't know. Essentially, you know, we all saw what happened with the French Revolution, so maybe maybe we'll experience one of those again. So we nearly had it with the Capitol Hill riots the other year. I don't know if you Googled it or if you looked at it in the news. It was everywhere. Had a bunch of Americans storm what is it? The Pentagon. Is it the Pentagon? I don't know. But they stormed it, they got inside, and everybody panicked and said, this is an outrage to democracy. And I'm sitting there going, no, this is the democracy you're cultivating. Woohoo! This is exactly what you asked them to do. And it's based on the French Revolution, essentially. Funny enough. Oh, Christ. I don't know. They just create these clusterfucks. Everybody's got right to freedoms, but you're not allowed to do things that's not, you know, in line with the freedoms that we put out. So it's like a bit critical. And then they all got arrested because they participated in it, even though it was their freedom to do it. Yeah, Christ. Crazy. I don't know who was in the wrong there, because you asked them to do it, and then they did it, and then you punish them. It's a bit, you know, anti-utopia, if you ever read that book. Create the criminals and then punish them for being criminals. Just fucking morons. Oh my God. Anyway, I'm gonna have to leave it there because I've got some parcels to send off, and I've just pulled up to the shops. I'm hoping you have a great day. If you are using Instagram, please use it holistically and with in mind of what you are putting out and who you are sending it to. Don't just do it willy-nilly. Don't be an ego-boosting asshole like the celebrities. They've got enough money. I wouldn't support them either, because I think they've got enough. They've got more than enough, and they're not doing anything useful with it except making more of it, you know? I mean, you look at how much Beyonce and her husband as well. He's a rapper in his own right. Yeah, Beyonce and her husband. Yeah, whatever. Jay-Z is his name. Sure it is. Anyway, Beyonce and her husband. I only realised, you know, she's worth more than him, isn't she? You look at how much these people are worth, but then look at what they're doing with it. Are they actually helping anyone? I mean, how much are they really worth? I mean, even if they do donate to charity, it's a hair fraction of anything of what they've got. And it's usually tax deductible. So it doesn't even affect them in any fucking way. They're just amounting this wealth over and over and over again. And they're looking good while they do it. So while you've seen them do this charitable act, that was tax deductible, so they're not actually paying for it. It's free for them. It's promoting their brand. And so more people will give them more money to do the exact same thing again, even though they're not paying for it, and this world is just amounting. It's a fucking ridiculous cycle of greed and ego and stupidity, quite frankly. So as consumers, we need to stop doing that. Stop promoting these assholes who aren't sharing, aren't liquidizing, aren't helping anyone, because you're taking the money you could be buying food with, or, you know, building your own wealth with, or trying to get to a better quality of life. And you're giving it to some arsehole who's got a shitload anyway, isn't going to really help anyone, and is just using it as an ego-stroking device. We've really got to stop doing that. Stop deifying these assholes who don't care about you. It's like the worst trauma bonding ever. Besides, you know, I don't know, the relationship we have with our parents. I don't know. Is it just my generation that you got fucked up parents? I don't know. But crazy. Crazy. Anyway, I've got to leave it there because I could rant all day. Have a good one, guys, and I hope you have a fantastic weekend coming up, all right? And I'll see you on the way home.